I'm Matt Towery for InsiderAdvantage, the Southern Political Report, and our internet news agency. Sorry I'm dressed so casually, but our poll came in early today, and so I thought I would just go straight forward and give you our numbers in Florida. We do this, of course, in partnership with the largest television network affiliate in the South, WSB Television out of Atlanta, but also polling in Florida for numerous entities. This is a poll which was conducted over the last few days in Florida. It takes into account not only those who say they are likely to vote next week, but also those who say they have already voted. There has already been a significant amount of voting that has already taken place in Florida that has to be accounted for when you poll the state of Florida because it's known for its early voting. Now, when you ask, in essence, if the Republican presidential primary were held today, which would be your preference? Who would you vote for? Either have you voted for or would you vote for? And we word this very carefully in the actual survey because people are a little hesitant to tell you how they vote, but they will tell you who their preference is, who their choice is. Here is the result. Right now we have Mitt Romney leading 24% of the vote in Florida. Rudy Giuliani has 19%. 18% go to John McCain. 12% to Mike Huckabee. 7% to Ron Paul, 5% to other, and 15% undecided. Now, that other is primarily Fred Thompson. So we clearly know that Fred Thompson received some votes before all of this stopped. We didn't use his name because we didn't want to confuse folks when they got into the other part of the poll. Let's talk about the difference between those who have already voted and those who say they are likely to vote. And let's also talk about the undecided situation. First of all, of those who have already voted, and that makes up about 25 to 30% of the vote in Florida, it's about 25 or so percent of this poll. 26% say they would vote for Mitt Romney. About 19% say they would be with Giuliani. About 20% say they were with John McCain. Huckabee is at about 15%. And again, you have other at about 7%. And Paul at about 4%. So what's happened is pretty clear when you get to intend to vote. These are people who have not voted yet. That makes up the lion's share of the remaining part of the poll. 23% goes to Romney. Giuliani stands at 19%. McCain drops a bit. He's at 18%. About 11% go to Huckabee. About 8% go to Paul. And others drop significantly to 4%. So Ron Paul is picking up some of the vote that might have gone to Fred Thompson, apparently. That's a little bit strange, but perhaps it makes some sense given the fact that immigration was a big issue and some of the other more conservative issues were going to Thompson. Maybe perhaps the conventional wisdom that Romney would pick up that Thompson vote or McCain might is not the case. Now, here's the other part. The undecided is extremely high among those who say they're likely to vote but have not voted yet. In the overall poll, it's 15%, and among those who have already voted, it was only 8.6% who said they were undecided. I don't know how you could be undecided and have already voted, so we have to sort of strike that out and just sort of call that an even par amongst everything because, of course, polling isn't perfect. But among those who intend to vote, we have a 17% undecided. So this is very much a race still worth fighting for in Florida. It's not decided right now. There are many individuals who have not decided, and we think they will turn out to vote. We'll keep watching and we'll poll every night to find out how they're going to turn out. But for the moment, it appears that Mitt Romney is the leader in Florida among those not only who have already voted, but among those who intend to vote. And this is going to be a very close race. The overall poll was 512 sample. I believe that would give us a margin of error of plus or minus 4%. Among those who intend to vote, it was 400 or so, which gives you a plus or minus of about 5% as well. Actually, the 512 gives us a plus or minus of 4%. I apologize. When you get to the intend to vote, you're at 389, so that's a little below 6%, probably about 5.5%. Among the already voted, that's 123. That actually is outside the margin of any sort of statistical level. But I think it is important that you put that in the aggregate and look at both in the poll, because if you're not polling and looking at those who have already voted, then you're getting a perhaps skewed picture, at least to a couple of percentage points, of where this race is. Now, that's all we have right now. We have other numbers, but we have media commitments, which will be releasing those too. But this Florida poll is certainly confirmation of what we expected, and that is that the race is very tight, but that Romney is indeed in the lead. Apparently, there was another poll that came out a day or so ago that suggested Romney was also in the lead. We'll keep watching this McCain situation to see if he gets a bump, continues to stay up. His biggest problem is he has not had money and has not been on television. Very clear, the two candidates who have been on television have been working Florida, that being Rudy Giuliani and Mitt Romney, are the two individuals right now who are in the lead as of today. Now, we'll be posting all of this information later today to our usual affiliates that we send this information to. If you are not receiving our polling information with our crosstabs, please call area code 404-233-3710 and ask to speak to James Meehan. He will make sure that you receive this information if you're a news organization and if you want to be on the Insider Advantage distribution list. And one last thing, we want to thank our folks at Survey USA, a rival pollster who ranked Insider Advantage among the top pollsters in the nation in polling the major primaries that have taken place so far. Well, of course, Survey USA ranked themselves first, but we don't mind a little publicity if they're willing to put us right behind ABC News among the major national pollsters. So thank you, Survey USA. We're glad that we made your poll as well. I'm Matt Towery for Insider Advantage, the Southern Political Report, and the Internet News Agency. Thank you for joining us for this special broadcast.